Hi, kindergartners. Today we're going to make a fun Christmas tree craft, and I wanted to read you one of my favorite stories about a Christmas tree, and it's called Mr. Willowby's Christmas Tree by Robert Barry. Mr. Willowby's Christmas tree came by special delivery, full and fresh and glistening green, the biggest tree he had ever seen. He had dashed downstairs and opened the door. There was a moment he'd been waiting for. A magnificent tree, splendid, he'd cried. Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside? I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner here. But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willowby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling and bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. Baxter the butler was called in on haste to chop off the top, though it seemed like quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willowby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know just who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willowby's upstairs maid. Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I have trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid, will have to be cut, sighed Mrs. Adelaide. And so with scissors, sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day in back of the house to be thrown away. The little treetop caught the eye of Tim, the gardener, passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree be thrown out. He hurried home straight away to see what Mrs. Tim would say. Fa la 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 la, surprise, surprise! His wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small. I do not believe we need it at all. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and she threw it out. Barnaby Bear was passing by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now, who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I have a present for you. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yawned Barnaby quite drowsily. But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, That tree won't hold a star. Barnaby said, Let's cut a hunk off the bottom. Here's at the trunk. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. The treetop keeps getting passed and passed along. Jolly by golly, Barnaby said with a kick. Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsels, and popcorn and string. Mama said, trim it up just as you've like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need any more. I'll just put it outside the door. There she goes. The treetop keeps going. Later on, that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the top in. There he goes. He scampered home and jumped his gate. The Christmas present couldn't wait. It's even better than mincemeat pie, said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix this top now in a hurry. Benjamin Rabbit found it then, just outside the fox's den. It seems, he thought, most certainly Santa left this for my family. Look, he cried, see the tree I found? With that he called his family round. Then there was a merry-making, rollicking, frolicking, carrot-shaking celebration around the tree, and all were as happy as rabbits can be. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made a stand. Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook. But right away the children cried, look, it's leaning off to one side. It's too tall, that's all, said Mrs. Rabbit. And as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw it away. The top just keeps going on and on. Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up some stairs. He fell down twice. At last he reached his cozy home. It's just the right size, said Mrs. Mouse. Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willowby? And can you see down here in the mouse house? There's Mistletoe Mouse and the family enjoying the very tippy top of that tree. I hope you like this story, and I hope you have fun making your own tree. Good job, everybody.